Let's go back to our top story and get some insights regarding the newly appointed Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, Lieutenant General Samson Mwadhedhe, and what Karangi's exit means for this particular institution. Well, Simiu Werunga, who runs the Africa Center for Research, Security Research, now joins me from our City Center studio. Thank you very much, Simiu, for joining us on Friday briefing tonight.
Thank you.
Maybe we could start. Why has the National Security Council that advises the president on such appointments chosen Lieutenant Mwadhedhe as the man fit for this particular job? Well, apart from him having served as the Vice Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces.
I think one, there's been a tradition in our military where something that is not in law, but we've been having a Robin round sort of change of guard. So when the head of Air Force was appointed to be in charge of the Defense Forces, the next person after General Karangi should have been somebody from the Navy. And that is why I think General Mwadhedhe has been given that appointment.
So
and
what?
So I think ideally it is follows that he's been a deputy for a very long time, and in terms of seniority and hierarchy in the military, he fitted that bill, and I think that's why he's been given that position.
So what does he bring to the table in terms of experience?
One, he's served in the military for a long time. Two, he has a lot of institutional memory because he's been holding that office for a very long time. And I think by virtue of his training and the fact that it is the turn for the Navy, not in law, but as a tradition, I think he brings on the table a lot of institutional understanding, institutional strategy, and basically the fact that he's been a deputy for a very long time. So he understands generally, although all generals understand what needs to be done, but I think because he was very close to the head of the Defense Forces, he brings a lot of experience and knowledge of what has been going on for a long time.
So now he's taking the mantle from a man who served the service for 42 years. How does he compare to Julius Karangi?
I think we don't have to compare them here because every general comes with his own style of leadership. What is important is that all of them have gone through very serious training, both within and outside. All generals have a knack for going through very crucial and very important colleges, both in the US, in Britain, in China, in India. So they have a lot of knowledge that they bring on board. But we cannot compare. The military is not basically like politicians. Every general comes with his style of leadership, but we have a gender framework within which all of them must perform within the framework of what the Kenya Defense Forces has put in place.
And let's talk about General Mwadhethe's entry. What can you say is his top priorities, maybe 2 or 3 priorities that he's going to be dealing with as soon as he gets into office?
I think one, he has to continue what we've seen General Karangi doing in terms of equipping and modernizing and professionalizing the military. What we can see that General Karangi did is actually he placed the Kenyan military in its rightful place. He has fairly equipped our military. He's fairly made it independent from unnecessary and called for political interference. And we seem to be doing a lot of change of in terms of training. And we find our military to be very strong now, to be very versatile. And the fact that he has brought a lot of, he has removed political interference within the framework of the workings of the military. That is what General Mwadhedhe should be doing. Number 2, I think General Mwadhedhe must look at how there's been a relationship between our military and the other national security organs. If, for example, we didn't have a lot of good relations between the military and the police, for example, he needs to create a system where both arms of government or organs must work together. And then lastly, I think he has something to do with our deployment in Somalia. There's been a lot of noise around that engagement in Somalia. He needs to continue confirming and affirming the fact that we're in Somalia because of our geopolitical interests, and our national security. So those three things, I think General Mwadebe will have to deal with them as he settles in his new position.
Simiyu, maybe finally, Karangi was quite a powerful figure during his tenure. In most instances, he actually seemed to overshadow the Defense Cabinet Secretary. What is it that you've said that every general will have their specific type of leadership, but are there things or characteristics that Mwadebe could learn or take from Karangi?
Now, I think as an individual, General Karangi had his own personal relationships with the leadership, political leadership of this country. So that makes the difference. Mwadebe comes in purely as an appointee to the position of KDF. I think that is one thing that there's a major difference. If you create personal relationship with the political leadership of your country, that it gives you a lot of leeway to make decisions that basically the political leadership will follow. That is the difference that we may see between the leadership of General Karangi and General Mwadebe. But I think another thing that I forgot that will be in the intre, and I'm speaking this from a very nationalistic perspective, is that as General Karangi leaves, we seem to see the new appointments that are not skewed, that are not following probably the Constitution, and this is something that might create some debate, where the current appointments are not fitting into regional balance, they are not fitting into equitable distribution of positions, and probably as a new Chief of Defense Staff, he might have to grapple with this and see how he can deal with the issue, because basically what we've heard from today, I don't think it fits into what the Constitution expects us to do. But this is basically just for us to know that is important, that even as we change guard, we must be alive to the fact that the Constitution speaks ABCD.
All right. Thank you very much, Simiyu Werunga, who runs the Africa Center for Security Research.